Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, it's been a pretty nice day and it's getting close to evening, and so the cicadas they're quieting down a little bit. They were quite noisy today. But they're I guess it's their evening time, so they're taking a break. So you don't have to hear the craziness, plus I'm in the truck. So you know how I say often that the people that are trying to destroy everything, that one of the things that's in the crosshairs, in that they got their sights set on target, that they're wanting to take out, is a family. It's the family, right? They want to destroy the family nucleus. They know that is very central. That's key to biblical morality. That's key to a successful civilization and to a prosperous society. They want to destroy the family. Check out this article. Now, this isn't the video today. I'm going to talk about something else. But I just had to show this. That fatherhood's bad on the heart. You could get a heart attack and die. You'd be better off just not fathering any children. Yeah, quit having babies. Quit being a dad. Just be a single bachelor your whole life, because it's way healthier to just, have a body count that's in the high triple digits. I mean, that's way better. That's way healthier. And for those of you dads that are just falling over dead left and right, it's not because of this. It's not because of the seed oils. It's not because of all the other garbage that you're putting into your body. It's not because you eat too much McDonald's and Twinkies and all that kind of junk and your Mountain Dews and your Red Bulls. It's because you're a dad. And you better stop being a dad, because if you want to live a long life, I mean, that's the way to do it. I know it's a very thin example. It's almost humorous, I guess you could say. But I'm telling you, that's their goal. They want to destroy families. If they did nothing else, I feel very, very confident in this. If they did nothing else but just destroy families, I think they would view what they're doing as a success. So anyways, back to the H5N1 bird flu, okay? And it's not more fear, run and hide, stick your head in the sand kind of stuff because it's coming, which it probably is. It's that it's another ploy to destroy our food system. The real food system, folks. The food that actually can make you healthy. They've been talking about this for a while, how it's in dairy, and that you got to stop drinking raw milk. Quit drinking that raw milk. Boy, that's going to kill you. I mean, it's bad for you. I mean, some of us have been drinking raw milk most of our lives and not killed us yet. But anyways, so that's been the story. Well, now that they're having to call almost 4.5 million birds up in Iowa because apparently some tested positive, and they're saying that they may have to start making farm workers that work around these animals get vaccinated. And they're saying now that they found it in alpacas and they found it in beef cattle. I mean, they've been finding it in all other kinds of animals too. Well, now there's been a surge of flu cases in Northern California, and they're saying they don't know exactly yet. Okay, but they're concerned that this surge in flu cases could indicate that this H5N1 is spreading more than they think. And the state of California is worried that their 1.7 million dairy cattle may be in jeopardy of losing their lives, because you know what, how California is. If they find out that it's all these dairy cows that's spreading this H5N1 around, that wouldn't surprise me a bit if they don't get rid of a bunch of them. And they're not gonna turn them into meat and put them on the market. And for those of you that don't know, you can certainly eat a dairy cow. Okay, you can eat a dairy cow animal. I mean, I've eaten many, and they're not as fat, they're not as marbled, but they actually taste a dairy steer, a Holstein steer, or especially a Jersey steer. I think it's some pretty doggone good meat myself. But they wouldn't do that because they'd be infected. I'm sure they'd find some other way to dispose of them. But the point is that for right now, it's not so much this big fear of you could get it. It's this big fear that it's in our food. It's in the healthy food. It's in the natural food. Chickens and beef and dairy, things that are healthy to eat that you should be eating. You should be eating that kind of stuff. Got to stop eating it. You know what? You know what doesn't have H5N1? Crickets and mealworms and cockroach milk. You want some dairy? Drink some cockroach milk. And I know some of you may be rolling your eyes or laughing, but it is a thing. And if you did some digging around, you'd see that there's videos out there, promotional videos, trying to encourage people to drink cockroach milk. I've done survival training where you've had to go out in the woods and spend many, many days, and you don't take food with you, and you have to live off the land. And there were times I was very hungry, and there were times that you just had to find things to eat. But I don't think I've ever been hungry enough yet to drink cockroach milk. Anyways, the bugs, they don't have the H5N1. And all this lab-created, processed, seed oil, bioengineered, DNA spliced food that they're creating, it doesn't have H5N1 either. Only this natural food stuff has. And if you've learned anything over the last few years, they definitely want to destroy the healthy food system. They want to destroy the food system that, while the system itself isn't necessarily natural and created by the Father, the food that you're eating, the animals, that is. And they don't want you doing that. They want you to eat less meat. It just on a rare occasion, that's what Klaus Schwab says. Just on a rare occasion, you can eat some meat. But for mostly, you're going to eat processed, lab-created, bug meal, and all that kind of stuff. And so, while this H5N1 could certainly develop into a pandemic for the people, a pandemic that could cause mass illnesses across the world, it's right now, it looks like it's being used as a way to destroy the real food system. And so we need to be ready for that. Now, I do want to say one thing, and hear me out on this. The last pandemic, as most of you know, ended up not being nearly as bad as they told us, okay? And I'm putting that very lightly. I don't want you to think that the next one is just going to be all fake and it'll be the same way. It could be. But all of the experts, the Klaus Schwabs, the Bill Gates, all of those people, they've said that the next one would be a big one. It would be a big deal. And so when the next pandemic rolls around, whether it's this one or something else, I don't want you to I don't want you to be fearful. I don't want you to panic. But I also wouldn't want you to just disregard it and say, oh, it's just like the last one. It means nothing. Because it could be a big one. It could be a big Spanish flu or even a Black Death event. It could be. And we have to be prepared for that. Right now, I think it's the food. I think that's where they're going for. They've got to diminish and destroy the food system, which they've been doing for years now, controlling it, buying up land, paying farmers not to grow food, cutting off water rights, selling it to the Chinese. It's just been on and on and on. I mean, I could go on for a long time, and you know that. Most of you are well aware. And this is just another thing, it looks like, that they're going to use to destroy the food system. So, the point, finally, as I've beat around the bush and walked around the barn a few times, you need to be food independent. You need to be growing, raising, producing your own food, and what you don't produce, you need to find local sources for your food. You need to, as much as possible, and I know that's difficult for many of you, some of you not so much, but some it is, get out of the habit of buying stuff at Walmart or the big box grocery stores. Support your local farmers markets, grow your own food, raise your own food as much as possible. You're going to have to change your menu, your diet a little. It's not going to be exactly like you want it, but you'll be healthier. Get some animal fats, some butter and some tallow and stuff, and stop eating the seed oils. Stop eating the boxed prepackaged stuff. We need to get, I know it's not a hippie thing. I think that's part of the psyop, is that make all these conservatives think that it's a hippie thing to eat natural stuff, and that a conservative just eats some good American processed food, right? Eat you some of that processed cheese product that's not real cheese, because that's the American thing. You know, drink you some Coke and some Pepsis and eat a Snickers. That's the American. No, it's not. Stop eating that junk. Cut that stuff out of your diet. It's killing people. It's making people fat. It's making people unhealthy. And they are doing their best to destroy the food system so that they can make you even more fat and even more unhealthy. Don't fall into that, folks. Wake up, eat healthy, become food independent, at least a certain extent. I mean, if you can hit a 50% mark, you're doing really good. You're doing way better than most people. I know people that 85+% of their food comes from either on their land or from small places around them. It is possible to do. And we need to do that, because I'm pretty confident that they're going to use this to pull it apart. I mean, now it's not just birds that they can kill because of it. Now it's also beef and dairy that they can kill because of it. And there's not going to be much food left for people to eat. I mean, if I don't eat pork, but many of you that do eat pork, guess what? The Chinese own most of the pork industry in the United States. So there. Get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.